Hello and welcome back to this channel where Jesus is King and God gets all the glory. I wanted to get on here because I noticed a pattern in my life and I wanted to share what I've learned. I used to wear my hair very short in my 20s, as I had shared before, and then there was a 2-3 year period where actually since I got saved I didn't cut my hair. So it's almost 3 years, and I'm looking up what that means. So, a Nazarene vow was basically a time in the Bible where people would be set apart for God's use and they wouldn't cut their hair. And once the vow was complete, they would cut their hair and burn it as an offering to God. There's a lot of ties in the Bible also. That long hair was a symbol of purity for both men and women, right? Like Samson, and the glory of God on a person was their long hair. And I hadn't drank any alcohol, which is also part of the Nazarene vow, but I wasn't consciously doing it as a vow of consecration for the Lord. Although the reason why I don't drink is because I don't like the way I feel after a certain amount, and I don't really like the taste of alcohol. I'll tell you the truth. If I were to have alcohol, it's champagne, and usually like an Aperol spritzer, which is what I like. But other than that, I don't drink any alcohol. I don't like tequila. I don't like it. I don't like tequila. I don't like wine. I don't like any of that. But anywho, so I wanted to share when Job cut his hair. Job 120. He had lost everything. So many painful things were happening to him, covered in sores, lost his children, lost his livestock. Everything was just falling apart. And he cut his hair as a form of humility. And then in Acts 18:18, Paul had taken this vow. And once the period of consecration ended, he cut his hair. I always cut my hair when I feel like I've gone through a trial. This was even before I was saved or I came to know Jesus. After a breakup, after a hard time in my life, I was like, time to cut my hair. This is biblical, which is amazing because it means that this whole time I was chosen. Even before I came to Christ, he had already chosen me. He had already dictated my steps. I know you might think it's not a big deal. It's just hair. What's the big deal? But it's a huge deal because I would always think, I've gone through so much with this hair. It's like dead weight at this point. When your hair is dead, it's not a living thing. It's like your nails, right? So I always felt it's time to shed. So recently I cut my hair. It's maybe been like a week or two, and I still felt the weight of my hair, so I cut some more and just shaped it and did other things. But I want to share this because there are things that you've done or that you do that seemingly have very personal reasons. But I think God is really trying to show me, like, girl, your time of consecration is complete. I've stripped you, and it's so true. It aligns with my life. That's why I'm like, you were talking and I'm listening. There are trials that I'm going through that I can't do anything about. That's it. I've done everything in my own strength, and now I can just trust in the Lord. And I have to go face this situation head on. I have to show up and face it. And it's tomorrow, actually. And I feel like I'm ready. I'm ready in my faith. I woke up this morning and I was like, God's going to show up. God has already done it. I just have to see it. I just have to walk it. I just have to walk it out. And having that kind of faith is something that I've never experienced before. But because of these little things like my hair and reading the Bible and understanding what it meant biblically, and I'm like, this is it. This is it. God, like, I'm coming out of this trial period and I can't take this old weight, this dead stuff with me. My vow is complete. The first time I had wine or anything alcoholic in months, it was over 100 days for sure, which is usually the longest. The longest Nazarene vow, I believe, was 100 days. It could be 30, it could be 60, where you're just like, you know what, I'm not gonna have alcohol. I'm gonna humble myself in front of the Lord or whatever. It was July 4th. July 4th, someone gave me a little bit of wine and I had some and I was like, this doesn't feel right. Just after you stop having alcohol and then you have it, you're like, this actually sucks. At least that's just me. And that's when the warfare was so strong. So my dad passed July 4th, 2014. And that was the first time that I was not falling apart. Almost 11 years later. That was the first time ever that I wasn't depressed, that I didn't put on songs that reminded me of him or looked at pictures or thought, I thought about it, but I was like, oh, he's in heaven, he's in a better place, and I'm going to see him one day, and it's going to be fine. But this was a whole process of little things, of God's like, I'm shedding so many things off of you. This grief, I was still carrying grief. Mind you, he got diagnosed the same day I got diagnosed with MS, and that's when I went blind and couldn't walk, talk, see, understand, remember words. But I was still, some part of me was holding on to that pain, like I hadn't cried enough or done enough or analyzed and looked at it enough. And God's like, okay, that's it, you gave it to me. This is what walking with me means, that when I carry something, when I carry your grief, when I carry your identity, when I carry your worth, where you can't even provide for yourself and I'm still sustaining you, I'm still providing for you, your lights are still on, your car is still in your garage, you still have your health, your child has health, you're seeing restoration in your family, you're seeing your prayers answered through other people. So why wouldn't I answer yours? Why would I answer your prayers? And this was a whole process of him stripping me and it being so uncertain and painful. And now I'm on the other side of it and I'm like, I can't take all this stuff that I was carrying to this new place he's taking me to. That is so freaking biblical. So if you're going through something, take a moment and look back. The patterns in your life. That's why genealogy in the Bible is everywhere. Son of this, son of that, who did this, who was known as this, and their father was known as that, and their father was known as this, because God is showing you, this is the blueprint that I have for your life. And these are the turning points. And before I felt shameful that I was cutting my hair because I wanted to look more not like myself. And then he showed me, actually, you have this childlike faith. Actually, you are really bold and people will cast you out and you'll still keep prophesying and you'll still keep doing these things. So tomorrow is the day that I know God is going to show up for me. Now, I don't know how it's going to look like. I don't need to know. But this version that's showing up is not the same version of myself a few months ago. And the outside is reflecting my heart. I feel lighter. I feel more comfortable in my own skin. I feel more like I'm walking in purpose. Like I've gone through this thing, I've gone through this thing. And you know how in movies it happens too. They're getting a divorce and all of it. She's like, cut it. I'm not gonna cut it. And she takes the scissors. She's like, just cut it. Because there is a shedding, there is a stripping. And sometimes I think I need a visual reminder of how different things can look from one day to another. So yeah, I hope this blesses someone. Jesus loves you. Trust the process. I love you. Bye.